Jai Hind everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel which is explore yourselves, banking and general knowledge etc. A tribute to Miss Asha Bhosle, 8th September 1933 to 12th April 2026. The passing of Asha Bhosle on 12th April 2026 marks the end of an extraordinary musical era, one that shaped not just Indian cinema but the emotional soundtrack of millions of lives across generations. At the age of 92, after a career spanning more than 8 decades, her voice finally fell silent in Mumbai following health complications, leaving behind an unmatched legacy of artistry and resilience. But to merely call her a legendary singer is to underestimate the magnitude of her journey. Her life was not just about melodies, it was about survival, reinven- reinvention, courage, and an unyielding desire to create something uniquely her own. The beginning, born into music, raised in struggle. Born as Asa Mangeshkar in Sangli, Maharashtra on 8 September 1933, she was the daughter of the renowned classical singer and theatre artist Dinanath Mangeshkar. Music is not a choice for her, it was destiny. Yes, yet destiny was not kind in her early years. When her father passed away, the family plunged into financial hardship. Asha was just a child, and like her elder sister, Lata Mangeshkar, she was compelled to step into playback singing to support the family. Her first recordings came at a very young age, and by her teens, she was already working in the film industry, not out of ambition but necessity. Unknown fact. Many do not realize that Asha Bhosle did not initially receive glamorous opportunities. She was often assigned low-budget films or second-tier songs because the top compositions were reserved for established voices, including her own sister. Living in the Shadow, a story of identity. One of the most defining and painful chapters of Asha Bhosle's life was living in the shadow of Lata Mangeshkar. At one point, she reportedly felt that as long as her elder sister remained active, she might never achieve recognitions. But instead of surrendering, Asha did something extraordinary. She reinvented her artistic identity. While Lata became synonymous with purity and classical perfection, Asha carved a space that was bold, experimental, and daring. She embraced cabaret songs, Western influences, sensual tones, non-conventional compositions, areas many singers of her time avoided. Unknown fact. This difference was not initially celebrated. Critics once labeled her voice as unsuitable for traditional melodies. Ironically, that very uniqueness later became her greatest strength. Love, loss, and reinvention. Asha Bhosle's personal life was as turbulent as her professional journey. She married young against her family's wishes, but the marriage ended in separation, leaving her to raise children independently. Later, she found companionship and creative synergy with the legendary music director R.D. Burman. Their collaboration produced some of the most iconic songs in Indian cinema, songs that still resonate across generations. Unknown fact. Their relationship was not just romantic, it was deeply artistic. R.D. Burman pushed Asha to explore vocal techniques that were unheard of in Indian playback singing at the time, including jazz phrasing, breathy tones, and rhythmic improvisation. A voice without boundaries. Over her lifetime, Asha Bhosle recorded more than 11,000 songs across multiple languages, earning recognitions in the Guinness World Records. But numbers alone cannot define her genius. What made her truly unique was her versatility. Classical compositions, romantic duets, cabaret and dance numbers, ghazals and bhajans, pop and international collaborations. She was one of the few artists who could effortlessly move between genres without losing authenticity. Unknown fact. Asha Bhosle even collaborated with international artists like Boy George and Nelly Furtado, becoming one of the earliest Indian singers to achieve global crossover recognition. The Nearly Forgotten Dream, a life she almost chose. One of the most touching lesser known truths about Asha Bhosle is that she once considered leaving music altogether. At a point in her life, burdened by personal struggles and lack of recognition, she reportedly wished to live a simple life as a housewife, away from the pressures of the film industry. Imagine that, the voice that would define decades of music almost faded before it truly rose. This moment reveals something profound. Her greatness was not inevitable, it was chosen again and again, despite adversity. Reinvention through experimentation. Unlike many artists who stick to a single style, Asha Bhosle constantly reinvented herself. She embraced change at a time when the industry resisted it. Whether it was singing for bold film characters or experimenting with Western beats, she broke barriers repeatedly. Unknown fact, she was often called the queen of indie pop because of her contributions to the non-film music, an area that gained popularity much later in India. Awards, recognitions, and global influence. Throughout her career, Asha Bhosle received numerous awards, including National Film Awards, Filmfare Awards, multiple wins, Dadasaheb Phalke Award in 2000, Padma Vibhushan in 2008. She was also nominated for a Grammy, becoming one of the first Indian singers to receive such global recognitions. But perhaps her greatest achievement was not awards, it was longevity. Few artists remain relevant across generations the way she did. A cultural icon beyond music. Asha Bhosle was more than a singer, she was a cultural phenomenon. Her songs became wedding memories, love stories, heartbreak anthems, dance floor classics. Her voice was not just heard, it was felt. Unknown fact. She also ventured into entrepreneurship, opening restaurants and engaging in culinary arts, another passion that reflected her vibrant personality. The final curtain, end of an era. On 12th April 2026, Asha Bhosle passed away in Mumbai after being hospitalized for health complications, including cardiac and respiratory issues. Her death was not just the loss of a singer, it was the closing chapter of a golden era in Indian music. Tributes poured in from across the nations and the world. Leaders, artists, and millions of fans mourned the loss of a voice that had become timeless. Legacy, a voice that will never fade. What remains after his legend is gone. In Asha Bhosle's case, it is not silence, it is echo. Her songs continue to play on radios in small towns, at weddings and celebrations, in films and remixes, in the hearts of listeners across generations. She proved that art is not limited by time, language, or genres. Lessons from her life. Asha Bhosle's journey teaches us lessons far beyond music. Identity is built, not given. She did not inherit success, she created it. Adversity can shape greatness. Her struggles become the foundations of her uniqueness. Reinvention is the key to longevity. She never allowed herself to become predictable. Passion requires persistence. Even when she wanted to quit, she chose to continue. A final tribute. Asha Bhosle was not just a singer. She was a storyteller of emotions, a pioneer of musical experimentation, and a symbol of resilience. Her voice captured joy, sorrow, love, mischief, and longing, all in a single lifetime. As the world bids farewell, one truth remains. Legends do not die. They transform into memories, melodies, and moments that live forever. And somehow, somewhere in a quiet corner of time, her voice still sings. Disclaimer: this tribute to Asha Bhosle is a commemorative and narrative piece intended to honor her life, legacy, and contribution to music. While it is based on widely known biographical information, historical accounts, and public domain knowledge, certain sections, especially those described as unknown facts or emotional reflections, may include interpretative elements. anecdotal references, or creative storytelling to enhance credibility and depth. The content does not claim to present new or officially verified historical discoveries. Readers are advised to consult authenticated biographies, interviews, and archival sources for strictly factual and research-based information. All views expressed are respectful and intended solely as a tribute to celebrate the life and achievements of Asha Bhosle. No part of this write-up is meant to misrepresent, defame, or inaccurately portray an individual or event. Thank you very much for your patience. Request for like, subscribe, and share.